Well, welcome to yet another installment of the Secret Spirits Whiskey Advent Calendar, day number 10. I have here, well, here we go. We've got 9 of them so far. We're about to do a 10th. We've got everything set up in such a way to make this happen again. Here's the Advent Whiskey Calendar. And I'm going to look for number 10. And as soon as I opened the door, there it was, number 10. Okay, let's grab that bottle. Let's grab that little bottle right there. Let's not look at the label. Let's do one tour around the room like this. And come back here. And do it justice. Okay, I have a clean Glencairn glass. I have a sampler right here. I have a glass of water to remain hydrated. And I've been primed by a couple of glasses of strong whiskey because I just did an online thing with my friend Renee from Soleg Whiskey in Denmark. But enough of that. That will show up on eventually somewhere here on YouTube, and you get to see the whole mess. This is number 10. I might as well just open it up and go through one of these videos again, pouring the whole contents of the bottle into the glass. And we've got a lot of bubblies on the sides again. I don't know why that happens. It only happens with these samples. Interesting. But the bubbles are popping now. They're popping slowly. Is this an indication that it will be another high ABV whiskey? Because the last two I had were 50% and 57.2%. So, if I don't take my time, this may sneak up and catch up with me and cause me to get kind of mellow. This is a light smell, light color too, and we've got legs, and they are coming down slowly. I think this is an oily one. And it's malty. It's malty and a little bit fruity, but mostly malty. Oh, this is a strong malty. Very malty. Malty almost to the exclusion of all else. Malty, malty, malty. Very, very, very malty. I hope I'm not being influenced by what I had earlier. Earlier, what I had was a Macnabrac, which is son of malt from the Victoria Caledonian distillery. Very malty one that one was. And I had a cask strength Shelter Point from 2017. That one is malty too, but there's a lot of malted rye in there as well. But this, I hope I'm not just smelling malt because I've had a lot of malt. Heavy malt, high ABV whiskey. Malty and somewhat fruity. The fruit I'm getting is pears. This is such a high ABV that I'm not getting much on the nose at all. It may benefit from some water to open up the flavors, or maybe some time in a glass. I was getting malt at first, but now I'm getting more sugary marshmallow kind of thing. But it's quite subtle. Oh, now a big snoutful of malt, underlain with a bit of pear. The nose may benefit considerably from some water. But I'm going to soldier on, and I'm going to try and get a little more out of the nose while I sit here on this afternoon where I've got all the time in the world to enjoy this and try it. Not a lot of complexity here, at least not on the nose neat. I get some pears, some light, I've said it already, sugary marshmallow kind of thing. And occasionally a snoutful of malt. Malted barley, that is. I have no idea what this is. No idea what region it's from. But I'm going to take a sip, and I'll probably be greeted with a great big punch of alcohol. Yeah, I'm getting anesthetized just by the nose. Let's try it. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's pretty hot. Mouth-watering. Malty, mostly. A little bit of that marshmallow sugar, barley sugar thing going on the sides of the mouth. Mouth-watering. Mm. The aftertaste is tingly, and I get hints of pear. Tingly, mouth-watering, dry. That was just the first sip. That first sip is not indicative of anything. It's the second and third and fourth when you're more accustomed to it, once you're more calibrated to it. That's the thing with these high ABV whiskeys. Usually I'm drinking them when it's the end of a flight and I've had gentler, weaker whiskeys to begin with, and I've worked myself up to something that this strong. And by the time I'm drinking something this strong, I'm not really paying much attention to the nose, and I'm not paying so much attention to the taste anymore. I'm just going with that it's a stronger whiskey of the same type that I've been drinking already. Second sip. Strong and sweet. That marshmallowy sugar. In mid palate, some pears, and tingliness from the high ABV. I am sure that if I add a bit of water, that will unlock a lot of flavors here. First impression is strong and hot. I'm thinking region, Highland or Speyside. Leaning towards Speyside, but what do I know? Let's put a fair sizable amount of water in here and see what that does to round things out, mellow them down, and bring out some more scents and flavors. I should also have a mouthful of water. Just to partially cleanse my palate. I bought some oatcakes last night, but they're in the kitchen over there, and I'm here, and I don't want to get up out of my chair to go get some. Oatcakes might, well, they'll take over whatever flavors in my mouth, but I'm not getting much flavor now. Just a bit of numbness from the high alcohol content. I'm hoping that this water will bring things out and bring things up to the front that were elusive and hiding behind all that marshmallow and alcohol. I want to dig my nose right deep in there. This is subtle. This is oh so subtle. If anything, adding water has taken something away from what little nose there was already. Wait, I'm getting something malty. Yeah, there's some maltiness, but you gotta dig deep for it to bring it out. Gotta dig deep, dig deep. I'm getting less of the sugar, less of the marshmallow than I was before. And I'm getting a bit of malt on the nose. Let's see if there's a few drops left. Oh, just a few drops left in the little bottle. Okay, with some water, what have we got? Just a little bit of pear and just a little bit of malt. For the malt, you have to dig deep, and the pear is quite subtle as well. Okay, taste again with water. Mm. Oh, that's far more pleasant. Still mouth-watering, more rounded. Not so much fruit, but there's a lot of oak. I'm getting a lot of sugariness from the oak. Tannins, bitterness. I wonder if this is aged in a refill Spanish sherry cask. Because I'm not getting a lot of caramel or vanilla. I'm getting very little on the nose. Still very little on the nose. Some malt, but you got to dig deep for that. Do this again. Yeah, there's malt. Mm. Sweetness and wood. The sweetness, once again, is like that marshmallow thing. And the wood is bitter wood. It's not a lot of caramel and it's not a lot of vanilla. It's just some bitterness. But the finish is long. That bitterness, is hanging on and hanging on, and it's drying my mouth out. And it's still bitter. Man, it's still bitter. I'm going to run out of water before I run out of whiskey. See now. I'm not a great big fan of having to dig deep to get my noses. Once again, sugary marshmallow. A bit of pear, but it's faded again. light fruits. And there it is again. Although this time I'm getting a little more white pepper. Does this mean I'm getting more used to it? Does this mean that the water has had more time to do its thing? Now that bitter finish once again. Bitter, bitter, bitter. Mouth-watering and bitter at the same time. Ah, bitter. I'm asking the inevitable question, what is this? Here we go. Royal Bracla, aged 11 years, single malt Scotch Whisky, distilled in 2006. Cask type bourbon. Cask number 31878, region Highland. 57% alcohol by volume. Well, I was right about the alcohol by volume. It's strong. It's high. And bourbon cask, but I suspect that it's been refilled. This is not a first fill bourbon cask. No, it's been refilled. It's been refilled so many times that the cask has nothing left to give. Maybe that sweet marshmallowy kind of thing is still from the spirit. There hasn't been all that much cask influence to this one, except that the cask has imparted some bitterness towards the end. The sugary marshmallowy is probably from the new make. There's a bit of pear there. I don't know if that's from the new make or from the barrels. But the bourbon barrels that were used in this were most definitely not giving a lot of caramel and vanilla. But you know, now that I come back to nosing it, after doing the whole thing, I think maybe a bit of water can bring, a bit more water could bring out more if there's any left, caramel and vanilla from the bourbon barrel. You know, maybe there's a bit there. Now I'm getting it, but it's subtle. Everything on the nose with this one is subtle. A very slight hint of cinnamon. There's some caramel there now. There's also some of the bitterness, but it's not as bitter as it was. Oh yeah. Now that I've added water twice, I've added half a teaspoon twice. It's getting a bit misty. And now I'm even getting a touch of anise seed. Wow. I should have added more water sooner, as there is a bitterness on the aftertaste which lingers. There is more going on in the middle, between the nose and between the finish. There's more going on now that I've added more water. Oh, now I've dialed it in. There's a hint of cherry also on the palate. And rather than being, no, it's still bitter, but the finish is becoming a little more sweet. And it hangs on for a long time. This is a very long finish. It's great if you don't mind a little bitterness. Well, that was interesting. Thank you very much. And Slancheva.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Yeah.